Hi, my name is Lily and welcome back to my channel. This week my mental health wasn't great, so instead of filming a normal reading vlog, I'm going to be doing a voiceover over some of the B-roll clips that I filmed this week. I hope you enjoy. So I started off the week with a walk. The weather has been a lot better lately, so I decided to go out for a walk to ground myself, and what I really enjoyed was being able to walk around and notice what was happening. And as you can see from the clips I'm showing you, spring is really here in my village, and it felt amazing to be connected to nature in this way and to walk around spotting all of the things that are happening in the world around me. I found some amazing, beautiful flowers, and I just had the best time. I was walking around listening to my summer playlist with the biggest grin on my face. When I made it to the recreation ground, I actually started to look up to the skies because I heard a lot of birds and a lot of noise going on around me. And that's when I noticed, as you're going to see in a moment, that there was some red kites flying nearby. If you're British, you'll know red kites are kind of a staple in the UK. I think every British person could probably spot them from a distance and know that that's a red kite. They're very intrinsic to our countryside, and yeah, I saw a lot of them and they were swooping around a lot, and it was just beautiful to watch. And at one point, as you're going to see here, one started flying directly above me, and I couldn't get a really good video of it. This is quite grainy, but it was a really lovely experience to be that close to nature, and I haven't felt like that in a long time. So if you can get out on a walk wherever you are, I highly encourage it. It really made me feel better about myself and about the world, and I just really felt reconnected. So yeah, I highly recommend it. This week I also finished knitting a blanket. It is this blue and grey one that Maggie is sleeping on. This video I actually took because it was the first time that Maggie had accepted the blanket and decided to sleep on it. Up until that point she's been kind of suspicious of it. So yeah, I thought I'd give you a closer look at the blanket that I made. Each square was knitted individually and then sewn together by hand or by me, and I've been working on it throughout the whole of this pandemic, on and off, because I didn't really want to knit a blanket in the summer, so I finished it this winter, having started it last spring, and I'm very proud of it. So I decided to go on another walk when the weather was good the next day, and this was a really special walk for me because I got to explore my local community a bit more, as you're going to see, and it really was a magical experience. When you walk down the road I just showed you, you come across this field. At the end of the field there's this church, and I've been fascinated by this church because it looks so beautiful from a distance, but I hadn't been able to figure out how to get to it. Then I walked down to the corner of the field and I found this gate. I hadn't seen this gate before because the grass used to be incredibly long, and I didn't know you could actually walk down to this corner. And this is a public footpath, so I guess this must be the route to take to the church, which of course it ended up being so, and I was very excited to finally be able to explore. So this is the path that I walked down, and to the right hand side of this path there's actually a private residence with what looks like a big tennis court and so much more, but at the end of the path is this beautiful church grounds, as you're seeing now, and it truly was magical. When I came around the corner and I saw this absolutely beautiful tree in blossom, I just was in awe. I'm absolutely obsessed with this tree. I have no idea what it is, but it's so beautiful and I could have spent hours just staring at it. Then obviously what we came here to see is this church. It doesn't look particularly old for a church in the UK, but it is still beautiful. I was kind of sad to see that the windows were boarded up, but I'm guessing that was to protect it from thieves. Unfortunately the church isn't open due to the pandemic, but I got to walk around the grounds. And yeah, I'm just giving you another look at these beautiful flowers that I found because I really am obsessed with them. This church ground actually made me think about a book that I've been reading this week called The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. It was my works book club pick, and it reminds me of this church because there is a lot of talk about a church ground and bodies being buried in a cemetery there. Now, this book is an adult cozy mystery, and it's told from lots of different perspectives, and it's about a group of elderly people in a retirement home trying to solve murders that happen around them. I won't spoil who gets murdered or what happens, but it is a really intriguing mystery. And oh, look, there's me. You only get to see me a couple of times in this vlog, but that's me. And yes, this is the view of the field when you come back out from the church. And I will get back to the Thursday Murder Club in a moment, but I'm just about to show you this absolutely beautiful house that I'm obsessed with around here. That one on the corner, it's very gothic and it has this beautiful turret, which could be an amazing reading nook, which is why I'm obsessed with it. But anyway, the Thursday Murder Club. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was an interesting read, but it was very slow paced. I love the characters, I thought that was the strongest point of the book. But unfortunately for me, it just didn't hit the mark. And instead of enthralling me, I wasn't rushing to pick it back up. The other book I read, as you can see right now, is Remesa. This is a children's fairy tale story, and it tells a story of Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty and Rapunzel, but it's all changed up so that the main characters are Muslim. And I really enjoyed the idea and the concept, and I thought the stories were fun, but I only ended up giving it 3 stars because I didn't feel like it actually added anything unique to the stories other than just changing the names to make them Muslim. I really wanted more of the cultures to be infused into the stories. But I still think it's a really great read, and I would give it to any child that was interested. Now, these next 2 clips aren't going to make much sense in the context, but I actually got up and got dressed and went outside, and I was going to show you some beautiful sights in my town because I was going in to do some errands. But unfortunately, as soon as I got into town, the heavens opened and it started to rain, so I wasn't able to show you town. So instead, here is a compilation of videos of Maggie being incredibly cute. Now, as you will know, it was Becca's Bookopoly or Bookopoly-thon this weekend, and I got to be part of a live with Beth from Book's Nest, which was amazing. And because of that, I decided to actually take part. Remesa was my first read, which was for fantasy and dark cover. I only finished one other book for the readathon, but I'm still really proud of that. And the other book that I read was Convenience Store Woman. This was for a book by a POC author and a contemporary. Convenience Store Woman was the highlight of my week, and I gave it 5 stars. It tells a story of an autistic woman in Japan who works in a convenience store and has worked there for 18 years. She's been there since the day it opened. She loves working for this convenience store, and I thought it was a really wonderful portrayal of what it's like to exist in a world with autism and how you are truly vulnerable, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars, and I might be doing a full review of it later on in the week. So I thought I would end this vlog with a little video of Maggie playing her new favourite game. She likes to burrow underneath blankets and quilts and attack you through the quilts, which I thought was incredibly cute. So yes, I'm going to end this vlog with Maggie playing, and I really hope you enjoyed this different style of vlog. It definitely gave me more freedom during my rough mental health patch. So thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please give it a like, consider subscribing. If you want to leave me a comment to let me know that you were here, please leave me a little flower emoji down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!